So now imagine it's a snowy day out, faces with the jaws of a lion in a pit with nowhere to run. Most would freeze in terror. Not Benaiah. He leaped in and killed it. There's no fairy tale. This is the business of a real man, a biblical warrior whose name still reverberates through history. Who was Benaiah? What made him a legend? Benaiah wasn't just any man. He was Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, a name that may not ring bells today, but back in the day, it meant something big. His father stood serving in the sacred temples of Israel, a man of God, a priest. Benaiah was born into faith, prayer, and sacrifice. Benaiah did not descend from a lineage of warriors. His heritage was that of the holy. What a shock it must have been when Benaiah exchanged incense for iron and traded the altar for the battlefield. But that priestly blood, it offered him something deeper, a foundation of faith that kindled his fighting spirit. But this priest's son didn't want a quiet life. He exchanged robes for armor and prayers for battle cries, and entered into history as one of King David's fiercest warriors. The peacekeeper's son became the warrior. What changed? Maybe it was destiny, maybe it was grit. But one thing is certain, Benaiah was born to be incredible. So let's get right into the epic acts that made Benaiah a legend. The lion. A lion, not just any lion, but a lion cornered in a pit on a snowy day. We could hardly do what we did. The ground was icy and the odds were insane. Benaiah didn't flinch. He leaped in, fought the predator, and brought it down. Blood on the snow, breath in the air. This was raw courage. His people too. What made him a legend? And why should you care? Get ready to take an adventurous trip through the life of a legendary figure who beat all odds, a terror on the prowl. And feat number 2, the champions of the Moabites. Moab was a bitter enemy of Israel, and its elite warriors were the special forces of the ancient world. Benaiah didn't fight simply one, a lion. He fought 2 lions at once. He sliced them down with speed and a warrior's heart, leaving their army incapacitated. This wasn't just a stroke of luck, it was skill set ablaze. And then the Egyptian giant. Standing over 7 feet tall and wielding a huge spear, this guy was a literal walking nightmare. Benaiah, he had a stick. A stick! But then watch this. He avoided the giant's stabs, wrenched the spear from his grip, and used it on him. One jab, and the behemoth was history. I'm like David, she's like Goliath, and right here is the spark of pure desecration. They weren't only victories, they were legends etched in blood and snow, stories that made Benaiah a man whose name nobody could ever forget. Now let's talk family. His family molded him, but Benaiah walked his own way. He was no mere son of Jehoiada. He was Israel's champion. Benaiah's relationship with King David? Unbreakable. David, the shepherd king, the Goliath slayer, personally selected Benaiah as one of his mighty men, an elite unit of warriors willing to die for him. Benaiah did not only fight for David, he protected him, commanding the king's personal bodyguard. Amid rebellions, wars, and bedlam, Benaiah was David's shield. And when David's reign came to an end, Benaiah's story didn't. David's son King Solomon saw the same fire in him. He appointed Benaiah as commander of all of Israel's army, a priest's son now leading thousands of men into battle. That's loyalty. That's legacy. But what about God? The Bible doesn't provide us with Benaiah's diary, but the clues are available. Born to a priest and trusted by a king appointed by God, Benaiah's story echoes faith. Imagine him before each match, heart thumping, eyes up, whispering, "God, guide my hand." He was a blessed, not blind warrior. He believed God could turn pits into victories, giants into dust. If Benaiah had strength to spare, it wasn't just strength that silenced every last roar, tossed every last foe. It was the power of God through a man of faith. So what is the final exit for a legend like Benaiah? The Bible leaves it mysterious. No great death in battle, no awesome final curtain. He ministered to Solomon dutifully, probably aging with wounds and tales. Odds are he perished in peace, his sword at last at rest. But it is not his death that matters, it is his life. Benaiah's legacy doesn't lie in a tomb, but rather in the stories that transcended him. Believe me, Benaiah's story is not stuck in the past. It is for you. We all have lions to contend with. Fear, failure, impossible odds. Benaiah teaches us how to leap in, how to fight, how to win. You can slay your giants too, with courage in your gut and faith in your soul. So the next time life growls at you, be Benaiah. Be the fighter who looks into the abyss and says, "Not today." Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe for more legends from the Holy Book. Until we meet again, be fearless out there.